At the high school level, there are many varsity sports. Most of them we've heard of, and some we haven't. We've heard of football, of course, and baseball and basketball. Most of those sports are for boys or for girls, but there's one sport that's a co-ed sport here that maybe some of you didn't realize was here at Butler High School. That's the Butler High School rifle team. And they've been around here for 60 years or so, and it's one of the best kept secrets around. We're at the rifle range right now, which is at the campus, the main campus of Butler High School. Eric Beveridge is the coach of the varsity team. Eric, it's good to be down here. This is a well-kept secret here, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
How long have you been involved with all this?
At Butler for 8 years now. I've been the varsity coach. Before that, I was volunteer assistant coach for 1 year, and I also helped Roger Trumba in my early years at Butler.
So this has been going on a long time. What attracts a student to the rifle team? Is it because they've been hunters before, or somehow some other way of being involved with rifles?
We get people who are hunters, obviously, in Butler. Also kids who were competitive shooters in the past with their parents or whatever. And it also attracts the kid who maybe wasn't good at football or wrestling or one of the other varsity sports, because it's a sport that anybody can do.
Now, this is the only co-ed sport up here, isn't it?
As far as I know, yes. This is the only co-ed sport where boys and girls compete at the same level at the same time.
Does somebody come here as a freshman? Or I guess it would be 10th grade?
9th through 12th, yeah. So freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors.
How many involved altogether?
There are 44 on the team this year.
When somebody comes to you and wants to be on the team, what's the reason they come?
Again, some people, it's because they weren't good at other sports and figured they would try it. Maybe they had an interest in hunting or guns in the past, or their friends drag them down and make them try it.
Now, obviously, as a competitive sport, you compete with other high schools. How many schools in western Pennsylvania are there that you work with?
There are 13 teams in western Pennsylvania that we shoot against. We're about the furthest north, going the whole way down into Washington, PA, and West Greene area.
Now, it takes a lot of equipment, and of course, there's all kinds of rifles. Some are very expensive, some are not so expensive, some are good, some are accurate, some are not. What kind do you use here?
Here we have 3 different types. We have Anschutz rifles, Walther rifles, and a rifle from a company in Du Bois called 10X Custom Rifles.
Are these the kind of rifles that they'd use in major matches in college and beyond?
Yes, we actually shoot the Walthers, and the Anschutz rifles are the same ones that the Olympic team uses.
Eric, what's the first thing you have to teach somebody when they want to get involved with competitive marksmanship?
The first thing we talk about when they get down here is safety. And then after that, usually it's breaking all the bad habits that they learn through their family.
And what are those habits?
Not being able to aim and jerking the trigger and basically not being able to shoot well.
Now, this is all in the prone position, is that right?
Yes, we shoot all of our matches in prone, correct.
And the target, I understand, is the 10 ring, the center ring, the bullseye, is about the same size or even smaller than the bullet itself?
Yes, it measures approximately the same size of a bullet, so right around 1/4 inch.
When they shoot the first shot, have they had a lot of practice beforehand? I mean, practice in positions and aiming and squeezing?
Not really here. We run an intramural program before tryouts start. So when they come down for the first time, we let them shoot off a rest, and that's basically about it. We explain to them what to do and let them shoot.
You say shoot off a rest?
A rest, yeah. We have a rest that we lay down so they don't actually have to put the shooting coat on and the sling and stuff like that.
What does it take to be a good shooter?
Patience and concentration.
Now, when they shoot in a competition, how long does it take? How many shots do they fire?
They have to shoot 10 shots for score, and they're allowed unlimited sighters, but they have a time limit of 15 minutes to accomplish everything.
Eric, have some of the students surprised you? Maybe the first shot was a bullseye?
Some, not many. We've had some people that have been freshmen, though, and have really improved quickly and became on the varsity team, and we're some of our top shooters even starting in 10th grade.
Has the equipment changed over the years? I understand this has been going on for maybe 60 years now. What did they use then?
At that time, they would have shot old Remington 513s that were purchased from the Army. And the good rifles at that time were the Winchester 52s. They shoot just as well as the rifles today, only they're more ergonomic now.
Are students that come to the rifle team to try out and to maybe make the rifle team, are they different from the general population of students?
I don't think they are. We have a really wide range of group. We've had students who are in the top 10 of their graduating class down through all levels of students. So I think we have a very eclectic group here.
Are they provided with the ammunition and the gun and the shooting coats and all that?
Yes, the district supplies everything they need to participate in this sport. There have been students in the past who've had their own equipment, and they're permitted to bring it. But we supply all the guns, all the ammo, all the coats, all the slings, everything they need.
How often do they practice?
Every day.
Every day for how long?
From October, end of October through February.
Does a shooter become much better as time goes on, or do they just kind of stay at the same level?
It's sort of a up and down wave, if you will. Students will improve for a while, and then they'll plateau, and then they'll have a valley where the scores seem to fall off, and then they improve. But usually over the years, they improve to a pretty high level.
Are there many that shoot perfect scores?
Yes, we have a lot of them.
Eric, it's also interesting. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for having us down here. Now I think it's time to talk to some of the students. Morgan Mento is a senior. She's on the rifle team. When did you start, Morgan?
When I was in 9th grade, I joined, and when we had tryouts, I actually made varsity rifle team in my 9th grade year.
Well, were you familiar with rifles before that?
Yes, me and my dad, I grew up with my dad, and we went hunting a lot, and I was really interested in guns my whole life. So that's what kind of got me interested in this sport.
Is target shooting much different from the experiences you had before?
Oh my, yeah. I have never shot a target that was laying down. And when I came down here, I wasn't very good because I kind of didn't know what to do because it's a lot different than your regular target practice first day of rifle, you know.
What was the hardest part?
Probably adjusting to the methods that we use. We wear a jacket, and then we have a sling on our left arm, and that's kind of probably the hardest part. Also, the open sights, you don't have a regular sight, so you probably get used to the open sighters too. So
Now, why do you have a sling on your arm?
it kind of gives you balance to hold the gun. It holds the gun up for you, so you don't have to use any muscle, so you can concentrate more on your aim than where you're holding the gun.
Morgan, do you remember the first shot you fired here at the range?
Probably not. That was quite a few years ago.
Remember the first time you got a 10, a bullseye?
110X? I think it was my 10th grade years because I went to Whippeals in 10th grade. Went to individuals in 10th grade, yeah.
Are you getting better, or are you staying about the same once you reach the certain level?
Probably the second one. I probably stayed the same once you reached a certain level. You really have to be focused and concentrated on this individual sport. Like, if you work a lot, I did that last year, you're not very good when you're concentrated on a lot of other things, like if you have a lot of stress in your life. But, yes, I set my priorities straight this year, and I think I reached my level where I'm happy with where I'm shooting, and I think I'm doing pretty good this year.
Well, you're a senior now. Does that mean that you'll continue this after high school somewhere?
I imagine I'll join any rifle team that I have. If I can have one in college, I don't know if they'll have it or not. I guess hunting.
Do you get nervous when you're in an actual competition with another high school?
I guess you could say that. I get the butterflies in my stomach, you know. You always want to do your best, but anything can happen.
Morgan, it's good to talk to you. Thanks.
Good to talk to you, too.
Nathan Patins, another member of the rifle team here at Butler High School. Have you been in this long?
This is my third year. Second year as a varsity shooter, and my first year I was a junior varsity shooter.
What have you learned in these few years?
It's not as easy as it sounds. A lot of kids think, oh, all you have to do is pull a trigger and hope for the best, but there's a lot of movement, a lot of preparation, and a lot of practice that it takes to get up to where a varsity shooter should be.
Does it take strength to do this, or is there something else involved?
No, you can be almost the weakest kid, and you can come down and shoot almost better than anybody down here. It's no strength. You never want to muscle a gun. It messes your shots up and makes you shoot really bad.
That means you have to relax when you're shooting?
Relax. We're not allowed to eat anything once we come down here. I shut myself off from eating or drinking anything sweet at lunchtime. That way everything's out of my system and I'm relaxed.
Now, the rifle team is a varsity sport here at Butler High School, but it's probably not as well known, obviously, as many of the other sports like baseball, football, basketball. Does anybody know that you're here?
Except for my friends and my family and the kids that are down here, not really. This is kind of one of the sports where unless you know that it's here or you hear it on the announcements about the score from the night before, you're not going to know that we have a rifle team.
When there's a rifle match coming up, which I guess is pretty often when you're shooting against other high schools, do you do anything the night before to get yourself in the frame of mind that you should be?
I don't do anything different. I usually try to go to bed a little bit earlier. And when I come down, I usually get my relay, get my position, and then I just sit down and either listen to music or go to sleep. That way it can lower my heart rate and I'm relaxed to shoot.
So it really takes being extremely relaxed. Now, when you're actually shooting the final shot, when maybe every other one was a perfect bullseye, is that pretty nerve-wracking?
It does get pretty nerve-wracking once you hear that you shot an X for like 3 shots and you're like, oh, okay, I can keep doing this. This is easy. And then you do a little mistake and you shoot bad, and then you're like, oh, why'd I do that? And then you get frustrated with yourself, but you have to find a way to get yourself out of that mindset to get yourself calmed down again.
Have you had many perfect scores?
I myself have not had 110X yet, but I'm hoping it's going to come soon.
And the next tournament's going to be pretty soon. And how many tournaments have you been in altogether? How many competitions?
We've shot 4 or 3 so far this year in one JV match. So far, we've won all 3. I have not been a top shooter yet, but I hope to change that.
Do you get to practice only here, or are there some other ranges you might go to?
I only practice here. There are some kids that go to other ranges that their dads might be members of, and they participate there for extra practice, but mostly everybody here just practices at Butler.
Thanks very much. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Sarah Laughlin's a senior. And Sarah, with all the other activities around here, swimming team and basketball and all the others, why did you choose the rifle team?
I chose the rifle team because actually my older sister and my older brother were both on the team, and I kind of wanted to follow what they did. And when I first started, I loved it. This is what I knew I wanted to do this.
Remember the first time you shot?
Yeah, I do. I remember I didn't like it. Very first time I was like, this is uncomfortable, and I shot really bad actually my very first time shooting.
Well, is the position you take when you're shooting the rifle a natural one? Is it not a comfortable one?
No, not really actually. You're laying on the ground and you have your arm up underneath of the gun, and then you have a sling connected to it, and then you have to like angle yourself so then you can see straight down the down the gun, yeah.
How long did it take you to become more familiar and more comfortable?
It didn't take me very long to understand it because my brother was on the team at that time, so he really helped me through it, and he taught me how to shoot. I ended up making varsity my 9th grade year, so.
Well, you're competing against other schools. Are you also competing against your family?
My 9th grade year, yes, my brother was on the same team as me, but I was also always trying to beat him, but he was older, so of course he did do better than me.
What's the hardest thing about shooting for marksmanship?
The hardest thing is probably being able to learn proper position and stuff, how to shoot, and your breathing process and all of it.
Do you have to prepare yourself mentally before you actually go into a competition?
Of course you do, because right now as a senior, I'm like worrying about colleges, and there's a lot going on, and so when you get down to the range, you have to forget about it all and relax so you'll be able to shoot better.
When you go to college, will you be involved with rifle shooting there too?
I want to, but the colleges I'm looking at, I'm not really sure if they have any teams. If there might be clubs, but not very many have teams anymore.
What has all this done for you as a person, do you think?
It has a lot of leadership, because this year I did get captain of the rifle team, so it's a lot of leadership and teaching the younger ones what to do and how to shoot, and so then the future team will be just as good.
Do some kids seem to get it a lot easier than others?
Yeah, some do pick up on it really fast, but some it takes a little bit longer, and you just have to keep working with them until they get it.
Well, if you go to college and there's no rifle team there, are you going to miss this very much?
Of course I am. I'm going to miss this so much. I'm definitely going to be back here to visit.
Sarah, thanks a lot. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.